Hello viewers, here is a NewAir as opposed to old air dehumidifier. Normally I don't go for newer plastic refrigeration equipment, but this kind of piqued my curiosity because it's so small. It was being thrown out at work, so I figured why not grab it. It's free. As far as I can tell, it operates like a conventional machine would. We have a coil here. I suspect that's the evaporator coil, and the condenser coil is behind it. And then if you look from the other side, I'm not going to worry about that. If you look from the other side, see we have a fan. Shaded pole motor, so it's probably a cheaper piece of equipment, and I can't tell if there's two coils behind there or not. It looks like there's two coils, so a condenser and evaporator. And there's the informations. I don't know for certain, but I suspect that NewAir is probably one of those things that's just a name, and there's some other manufacturer that actually makes the product. It's model AD-250, and it only draws 1.6 amps. And it's R134A. There's 3.52 ounces of it in there, which is okay. I don't remember if 134 is flammable or not. I used to know what all the chemical makeups of the refrigerants were, but it's one of those kind of stupid things where you have to know them for the exam, but you never use them on the job, and as a result, you just don't remember. High side is 1.9 MPa. Low side 0.6 MPa. That's not too bad at all. Really intrigued to open this thing up and see what kind of compressor is in there. It's late and I'm very tired, but I may have to do it tonight because I am just so curious to see what kind of compressor is in there. From the shape of this, it's probably just a very small rotary, but that's going to be the smallest rotary compressor I've ever seen. Because this thing isn't that fat, it's small. So anyways, where's the thing here? I was told that it leaks. And that may be the... I don't know if that's a switch down there or not. All that stuff goes down. Oh, here's a diagram, a schematic. It's kind of interesting to see that on such a new piece of equipment. Let's see, what do we have here? It's got some kind of a sensor. I'm guessing that's either the water full or the... it's probably water full. There would be no humidistat because it's on or off. Okay. It's got a capacitor in there. Doesn't say what kind of microfarads it is. Well, anyways, that's really interesting. Really intriguing piece, even though it's not vintage. Let's go ahead and turn it on because that may provide some insight as to what kind of compressor it has. This does not want to go in correctly. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know what it's catching on. If this thing works relatively well, I may actually use it in the bathroom because it's like the perfect size, and it doesn't draw a lot of power, so there wouldn't be an outburst about it running every day. But this is definitely not. Something's wrong with this. I think something's wrong with this full switch. Yeah, the full switch is kind of jamming. So we'll have to look into that. Anyways, it's off. Kilowatt meter. I've got it on hand here, why not use it? Well, that requires that I plug in the power bar. Power bar is plugged in. And we're looking at 121 volts, and we'll go over to amps, and let's turn this thing on. Hear the refrigerant going. This fan off. Yeah, I can hear the charge pushing through there, so it's got a charge. Sounds like a conventional rotary compressor. The output of the fan actually isn't too pitiful. I don't know what the pints per hour is on this thing, or pints per day I think is how they measure it. I'll have to look at the model number and see if I can get some information. It doesn't feel like it's getting hot or cold. This is 73, the ambient's 73, so it's not. I can hear the gas going through there, so it is. It's doing something. It has a charge. It's rattly as can be. That's better. It's actually not that loud. Yeah, I can still hear the refrigerant. But it's not getting cold or hot. I don't know if this is the evaporator or the condenser. I would expect it to be the evaporator. That's normally what's first. You know, on a dehumidifier. But China knows no boundaries when it comes to the design of these things. Well, it may be getting a little bit cold down there. Oh yeah, it is. It went down 3 degrees. It's drawing 1.8 amps. Now 1.9. And we got frost down there. So maybe all the charge leaked out. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Yeah, it's only cold right there, and that's it. It's cold down there, that bottom row, though. In the 30s. I'm going to stop the airflow and see if the cold will move up the coil at all. Actually, that stupid little fan is drawing air through this piece of foam. That's impressive. It's got enough suction to hold it on there. Well, the cold has moved across the bottom there. Now it's up to the second row. Stops there though. Well, I guess we need to let it sit for a little while and see what transpires. It's been running for a few minutes, and as I was waiting for it to get going, I noticed this information tag is very odd. For one, it notates 115 volts, which is unusual for something that's relatively new. 115 volts is usually something that's, you know, older, from the 1960s or something. The other thing that's not really correct is that 190 watts does not equal 1.6 amps. At least not at 120 volts, because we're getting 199 watts and we're at 2.16 amps. So the watt specification is pretty close to what it should be, a little bit higher since the voltage is a little bit higher, but the amps thing is just wrong. So it's working. It's absolutely working. Coil is cold up to the top. It's colder at the bottom, obviously, but it's working just fine. You can see there is already a decent amount of condensation on the coils, and I gotta have a lot of respect for that because the humidity in here is only 46%, which is not much. That's actually very low. So, not bad. Go with the heat gun here. Go with the heat gun, whatever this thing is called, the temperature. Right on the coil loop, it's about 48. I want the loop at the end. Right on the tube, it's 48. We'll go up to the next one. Right down to 48. Next one. 49. Next one. 50. Next one. 53. 51. 54. 50. So it's working, absolutely working. And I can hear the refrigerator too. It's definitely here. So that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to set this up in the bathrooms now while I take a shower and see what it can do. I'm going to turn it off. Spin down the fan is pretty decent. So it works just fine. It's a neat little machine. I think I'll use it in the bathroom.